cunts, don't forget to click the subscribe button.
So what's the scam?
So this scam is called, they're an ethnic advertising.
What does that mean?
That
Ethnic mean like black, yellow, purple? What do you
yeah,
mean?
exactly. Black, yellow, purple.
Everything.
They, like for example,
Minorities.
you know WeChat, for example.
No,
that's
what that
where
means.
that's the thing for all the Chinese, Hong Kong, all them. That's their social. It's their Facebook
Okay.
and Messenger. There's WhatsApp, which is very
I know,
big here.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Done. So then, for example, like all South American marketing, that's still ethnic. So it's Hispanic and whatever. That's ethnic advertising. So like Pepsi, when they want to activate, let's say the Asian population, they'll hire this group to do the advertising all in Mandarin.
This is a U.S. group?
So they're in the. So he's 50. He wants to do the next step, which is penetrating the USA. He's had a hard time. He needs to implant himself there. And so that's why he's trying to sell the operations. So when I heard that, I'm like, our strength is penetrating the US market. Why would you just go there on your own? Why don't we just do that together? And then so he actually already has a US company set up for this purpose. And part of the deal is that we would own a sizable stake of the US operations. So he has a very strong offshore team as well. In terms of the numbers, we were just looking at the financials.
You mean like virtual people?
Yes, okay. But they're full-time teams. Okay. But they're fractional. Fractional means you pay them by the hour, and they cost $1 to $3 an hour. So his net profit margin is 35%. Mm-hmm. It's very, very good. For our industry, it's unheard of.
So that means his gross has got to be 50, 60, 70.
It's, well, it was pretty high, right? Because net, net before tax. Net before tax was $1,035,000, and then gross revenue was 2.6.
Okay.
Bad, right? So, yeah, because that's still 30% after tax, actually, if I run that. So, currently doing let's just call it 1 million average EBITDA, just for easy math. If I took the average of the last 3 years plus current year. He had a bad year. That's why I wanted the average so that we could drop the price down a little bit. We just came up with a $4 million valuation. And then his big thing, he was heavy on tax. In Canada, we have
heavy on meaning he thought about it a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he structured trusts and all these things, and tax was a big deal. So him and his wife are 50-50 owners, and this is the first business he's disbanding or selling so that he can take money off the table. And in Canada, there's a small business tax exemption, capital gains exemption, $850,000-ish per person if you hold your shares for 2 years. So last night, before passing out, I told him, listen, like instead, and he wanted 3 million cash and 4 million cash. I was like, listen, you're going to pay a lot of tax. How about we do $1.7 million in tax? It's tax-free. In cash, tax-free. And then on the balance, so out of 4 million, we're buying 3.5 so that he can hold 500,000 of his equity. So 1.7 cash, 1.3 note of some sort, and then we were discussing an earn-out because Daryl was telling me that the reps and warranties against an earn-out can be a lot stronger than on a note. Because the other thing is, I asked him last night, I said, Niraj, what are you going to do in terms of income and all this stuff? Because you're 50. He told me his son's, 18 at Edinburgh, and then his daughter's 11. I was like, you're going to need an income. What are you planning? And he's like, yeah, I do need some money, whatever. I'm like, great, let's do a note, or in this case, an earn-out, so that you can get some revenue here over the next 10 years, because you're not done. And so we do 1.3 there, and then $500,000 in our equity. And that's where we're running the different types of simulations where Daryl's suggestion was if he did, let's say, $1 million worth of EBITDA, that if he hits his $1 million worth of EBITDA first year, then he would get X percentage of his earn-out. And what kind of demonstrated was something where I think let's say it was like this, if it was $2 million worth of note, that it would be structured in some type of balloon payment so that he's incentivized to drive it over here. And where every single year, let's say the million is the baseline target. If they hit $1 million, they get 100,000, for example. If they hit 1.1 million, they get 110,000. Year 2, if they hit $1 million, or let's say they hit 1.2 million, they get the 100,000 plus a $20,000 bonus. And then on the 5th year, if they hit $1 million, then they get their $1 million. If they hit 2 million, then they get, well, I guess, significantly more.
So that's not an earnout if they're owed $2 million. So try to get most of their earnout paid as long out as possible.
Sure.
Because that's what they did to me. Yeah.
So that was the idea.
And the main reason for that is that it's proven by somebody, I don't know if it's MIT or Harvard, that the longer the earn out, the less effective they are So they want to make they want the dollar amounts to be larger at the end, so you don't lose incentive. Yeah. And and it works. Now sometimes if occasionally all the money you're giving them up front is all they really think the business is worth, and all the rest is gravy or icing on the cake, and they go to sleep anyway. And so that never happens. He's not quite asleep yet, but he's headed that way. It's 17 months and 46 minutes, and his earnout will be over. Go ahead.
So that was pretty much it, in that he was starting the U.S. side. So we tied the U.S. deal to the Canadian deal and saying, we're buying this, but we'll also help you grow this. You're going to give us 40 to 49% of this entity as part of the deal. No additional cash. But that way, the resources that are over here from an execution standpoint, you can still lean on that. And we, with the power of our consolidated marketing group, our strength is client acquisition. Let's help you get more clients and accelerate that, because we'll benefit, because we're a core shareholder. And the thing that Daryl brought up is that all the books have to be centralized at our office. And,
This guy Indian?
He is Indian. So, please speak.
I know. I'm our Asian brothers. I pay. I just told the other group. In the Catholic religion, you go to purgatory first if you got to clean up your sins before you go to heaven. I've spent my time 13 and a half years in Asia. I don't need to go to purgatory. The Indians are, Steve Jobs, Jack Welch, and Warren Buffett all said the same thing. The smartest people on the planet are from southern India. If you look at Fortune 100 companies, 40-50% of them are run by Indians.
Yeah.
Now, I don't consider Indians Asian, but I know they are, but I don't consider them that. They're slick. And so you gotta, centralize books, absolute. And so I would have my CFO, not just centralized books, I'd have the CFO sitting across the table, let's examine, across the table from me, or, down the hall.
Because that was actually the thing that he needed the most help with. He's like, Tom, it's like the only thing I do right now, I'll take care of the payroll, I deal with the finance, which I don't want to do.